Good morning, everyone. This is Jennifer Thibeaux. I'm so glad to be back on Spreaker.com. As you all know, that is one of my favorite ways to broadcast and reach out to everyone. Today is Tuesday, November 12th, 2013. And again, I'm Jennifer Thibeaux. Well, I use Spreaker.com to just kind of express my thoughts and put them out into the universe, if that doesn't sound so cosmically crazy for a Tuesday morning. But I do like to connect in this way. And of course, I always put all of my Spreaker.com broadcasts out on YouTube.com, my YouTube channel as well. So shout out to all of my Spreaker friends, as well as Facebook. This always goes into Facebook.com. And all of my friends in the social media universe. Well, I was compelled this morning, as I was up really, really early, working on a few things, very compelled to talk about the spirit of giving. I'm struck every time I watch the news. It seems I'm hearing about department stores that are opening earlier and earlier on Thanksgiving Day to capture that magic, that spirit of shopping, and really what I always call to separate people from their money. It's the American way, I guess, and that's what retail does. I can't really knock it. I have a retail business as well, so I do understand the interest in doing that. But we're opening on Thanksgiving Day now. And while some people say, gee, it's kind of an invasion of the holiday, but, keep in mind, there's online shoppers that have access to shopping 24/7, 365 days of the year, regardless of the holiday. Most people are able to do their shopping. So the physical brick and mortar shops, they're really just trying to catch up with the accessibility that online shopping has created for shoppers. So I do get that. But, I'm really struck, not necessarily by the spirit of giving, because everyone says, oh, this is the season of giving. Really, the season of giving should be all four seasons. So I wanted to talk about that. And again, just a few of my thoughts this early in the morning. It's about 6 a.m. my time now. If you can do anything for yourself, I will ask you that to give, of course, during this holiday season, but make a commitment to yourself to make a consistent give to your community, to a charity, whether it's time, talent, and or treasure, or all of them. Make a commitment to give consistently. Years ago, and this is when my daughter was, she wasn't even 2 yet. She was 1.5. Years ago, I was at home exactly around this time planning my Thanksgiving dinner. And I love to cook. If anybody knows me, I love to cook. So I'm planning this fantastic dinner with all these different, entrees and sides and all of these things. And I'm just getting really excited about cooking. I've invited several people over, several of my friends at the time who were single, who I knew were not going back home, wherever home was for them. My house was going to be the place. So I'm planning this big dinner. I'm sitting down, and the news comes on, and it talks about how bad the homeless problem was in Dallas. And I was like, oh my gosh, here I am planning this feast, of gluttony. And there are people that are starving and that are on the street. And you talk about, I literally stopped writing. And so I thought, well, I want to do something about this. And so that's really the moment that was born almost 10 years ago now. That's the moment that was born when I said I'm going to do meals for the homeless. Lots of people do soup kitchens in holidays, and that's all great. Or food pantries, and that's wonderful. That's an important part of the ecosystem of helping out in the community. I chose to actually cook the meals myself and then physically go hand them out. Now, the caveat here is that it is in my area, in my neck of the woods, Dallas, Texas at the time is where I was. It was, and I believe still is, against the law to hand out food or money to homeless people. There are, a variety of arguments about why that law became so. I personally disagreed with that law, just from a personal standpoint. If I can help a person, a human being, I'm not going to turn my back on them because somebody wrote a law that said so. That's just not the way that I'm built personally. So that's my personal opinion. So I was actually like, I hope I get arrested or a ticket or something where I can kind of raise the consciousness of the idea that we've created laws not to help people, because I thought that was wrong. So anyway, on many levels, I was resigned to create these meals for the homeless, in which I did. And so, I'm a Southern gal to a certain extent. So I made country style ribs and cream potatoes and green beans, and everyone gets a bottled water, and I maybe even had a little dessert. I put God bless you, on each of the containers. I actually made these separate meals. I think the first time I did it, I made about 30 different meals, and so I made them before I made Thanksgiving dinner for my family. I thought it was important to be able to give first to the people that I am saying are important to me, and that's my community as well as my family and friends. So I put community first and made those meals, and it was really, it was a pleasure to connect with people in the community. It was just amazing, some of the things that happened then. I walked up on a blind man and a preacher at the time, when I was handing out meals. And I was literally driving around the city looking for people who looked homeless to hand them meals. It was kind of an interesting way to do it. But I walked up on a preacher who was praying with a blind man. And, I actually thought it was two homeless people. When I saw them, just from a distance, I kind of stopped the car, jumped out kind of thing. And sure enough, when I walked up, the preacher, who was holding a Bible and was truly reading to the actual homeless man, he said, "Oh, praise God." He said, "We were just praying for food." And I thought to myself, that's amazing. That's kind of the spirit of connecting with what you believe you're supposed to be doing in this life and actually jumping out there and doing it. Like that's confirmation that you're where you're supposed to be. And it's just, it is, when they talk about a spirit of giving, you talk about it's like a boomerang effect, and it really does give back to you in unique ways. For me, it kind of strengthened my resolve to continue to reach out in the community, understand where our pockets of gaps are in, those areas of need, so that I could creatively kind of fill those gaps if at all possible. I may not be able to feed everybody in Dallas, but if I can inspire, 100 other people to do the same things, then we are in a better place. And it's not just about the quick fix of a meal that day, because certainly the person's going to be hungry the next day. It's really about us coming together and saying, how can we solve the larger problem, which is, not wanting people in this country to starve. So tell you all of that to say it is the spirit of giving. And ever since then, I always, I'll go out periodically and just feed the homeless. And it's expanded to blankets for the homeless and shoes for the homeless and all of these things. Yes, I have a special place in my heart for the homeless, but that's my special place. I encourage you in this holiday season, as the retailers are just hustling for your dollars. That is what they are doing. I saw a news report last night that said that there are 6 fewer shopping days this season from last year. So the retailers are freaking out, basically, because Thanksgiving is a little bit later this year than it was last year. So they're hustling for your dollars. And so I'm right now hustling for your dollars, your time, talent, and treasure for your community. And I don't care what that cause is, whether it's a formal cause, like a food pantry or some system or organization, or it's an informal cause, the way I chose to kind of feed the homeless. I encourage you to just direct some of that energy and that spirit into your community. But secondly, I really encourage you to be mindful of what can you do beyond this season. That's so very important. Community is not a light switch. It doesn't come on when it's convenient for you. The community and the needs are there all the time. And so it does require everyone in the community to be there all of the time. So I just wanted to, it's just kind of one of those things that's in my head as I was working on other things, because obviously that's top of mind for me this season. I'm really looking for opportunities each and every day for me to have that spirit of giving in some way. Some days the actions may be larger than others. But my goal is every single day to see what can I do in my community to really kind of make an impact with, one life, many lives, inspiring. And I hope that you do the same. Be safe in this holiday season. I know I'm going to be talking to you all again in this way, but enjoy the holiday season and get to know your community a lot better. And let them get to know you as well, because that's kind of really how we create a better system. So this is Jennifer Thibeaux. Again, today is November 12th, 2013, and I will see you again soon.